Record. Okay, so the six priorities that Hugo is talking about, we need to pay attention to this and see what we can do to do our part as a district, because we need to remember that we're Rotary. Okay, so we're not independent. We're like a franchise. So it's if they're saying that this is important, and we know it's important, so we don't really need them to tell us to be nimble, to be relevant, to continue leadership. We already know this. And so what we need to do though is do an action plan and get things done. So, membership is really important to everybody. And what did we hear from them at Zone? It's a crisis. So we have a
Yep.
okay. So in North America, especially because our numbers are really going down compared to um, Asia, and other places, like our sister club in Taipei, the district is thinking of splitting because they have 5,000 members. So, what is it that is relevant there? And we need to be relevant here because we've got our own challenges here that we can do things for our community because we've got the manpower, we've got the direction to do humanitarian service. But here's the history from 2007 on the number of members we've had as of July 1st. So July 1st is the official start number for our district. So this is only our district. And look at what we had, 2,035 members in 2007. And look at,
Wow.
yep. And look at the years we've gone up and down, and years we lose 97, 98 people in the year. So
Yeah.
that's the net change, right? And that means we have probably lost 300 that year. Okay, so yeah, look at these numbers. And this is as of March 3rd, 2025, that we're down 40. We're not really down to 44, but that's what it says. Okay, are you taking
A
this
lot of
all in?
loss.
Okay, Rich, what do you think?
Oops. I hope we didn't lose him. I
Yeah.
just got to my
No,
office,
I'm,
so
I'm just, yeah, what I think is we are in crisis. Uh, we, I think COVID was a real killer on a lot of different levels, um, but it's not just COVID, obviously.
It's not, because if you look at we lost 98 in 2019, and that was before COVID.
Right.
Okay, so when you kind of analyze why did this happen, yeah, some years we had a special push for membership, and so everybody's bringing in people, but those people probably left because they didn't get the experience, they didn't have the reason to stay, and that's why that attracting people and retaining people is just as important, to make sure we're giving them that value, the value proposition. So you can see in some years we had a Ignite program where membership was top of mind. Marco had a thing where every month people had to report how many people they got, how many people went to orientation, how many people went to service projects. And so people were really focused on it. But when you have a contest like that and people are trying to bring in people, yeah, you're going to bring in, but then they don't get their value, or that president left because they only joined because of that person, then you've got, the losses. So it's a balance of all of these things that we need to do all together. It's not just one or the other, it's got to come together. So you can see in Randy's year, he made it top of mind. He made it important for membership. So you have a net there, but people who don't have the emphasis, or not helping the clubs, then you're going to see losses, right? Because people are not getting their value. And as a district, we can help with giving value. And I'll talk about that a little later on what the district can do to help. Because sometimes the clubs just can't do it. We've got to see how the district can help with giving that club experience. So here's our profile for the last 5 years. How many clubs in the district, and it has the goals. So people who don't have the district governors that don't have if goals don't matter, then you're going to have numbers like clubs with goal is 44 or 40 because, there's no, nobody's reminding the clubs to put it in. So look at the number of clubs, and this is including Rotaract. It started adding Rotaract. And so if you look at 2020, and we had 7 Rotaract clubs, that's why we're seeing 60 clubs. Okay, then you have the membership and then alumni. And that's kind of interesting that we have right now almost 4% that of the members that are alums. And so alums could be Rotaractors, Interactors. Who's in the waiting room? Who is that?
We don't know.
Oh, okay. Um, oh, that's Nancy. Nancy's coming in again.
She's muted on both sides.
Okay, so I working on getting the alum to stay, to join Rotary, to come back and be with us, that's another pocket that we need to work on. Female membership distribution, if you look at all of the districts in the whole world, we're like in the top 10 because we have a high percentage of female members. So, girls empowerment or female thing, that's not really an issue because I think it's our culture that we have a lot of females in our district, and the females do things, right, Nancy and Connie?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're running the world. I'm
Now,
going to say
I'm
they're
on my regular computer.
they're pretty much running our club. I mean, a lot. It's
Yeah,
amazing
I
how they've
just-
stepped.
Okay, so even in the age distribution, so most people don't put in their date of birth, and so that's why that number is kind of skewed. It's not exactly accurate, but maybe the younger ones put in their birth dates, and so you can see that we've got a steady group, but 5% under age 40 is a good number. I mean, we can always work on it, but here is where you can see the gains and losses for every year. So you can see how many we brought in and how many we lost in each year. And then the bottom section is the tenure. So people that are probably in the over 10 years, those are probably people who died. But it's hard to say. Maybe they just don't they don't get it back, or maybe we're not getting anything out of they're not getting anything out of Rotary at that age. So this is kind of telling on where
I don't quite understand the membership termination by years of membership. So over 10, we have 36 terminations of people who were over 10 years in Rotary. Is that right?
right.
Okay. And that's for the whole district.
Yep, this is our district. Yep. And so in 2023-24, there's 108 people that left that had that were in Rotary between 1 and 2 years. And so maybe the first year they're trying to figure it out. The second year, they're really not getting anything out of it. So, they're leaving. So every touch point is important. Of course, you can't help if they die, but we can keep them engaged and show that they're important. So, something that we can do at district conference is to have a page of people who have been members the longest, just to recognize them. Okay, so moving on. Okay, termination reasons. And a lot of times they don't get the reason because people just don't pay. And so we just take them off. And we don't know really what the reason is unless we talk to them and find out. And so that the interview when they come in to find out why they join is important. And then seeing how we can fulfill their need for why they're in Rotary. So if it's projects, how can we get them into projects? So you see though that it's personal reasons, just that they probably just didn't get it. Relocation, well, you can't help that. Okay, but these are the reasons in Rotary International on the terminations.
This is for our district
Our
only.
district only. Yeah,
So it's really incumbent upon the clubs to put in a lot of this information that they may not know the reason for.
right.
It's unknown. They just dropped off the ledger. They stopped coming and they stopped paying, basically.
Right.
And
But
nobody asked them why.
that's the thing. Nobody asked them. And maybe if they had asked them, they might have stayed on.
I think and Connie, you probably could speak to this better than anybody. It's really hard for some clubs to reach out to the ones that have dropped off and say, well, what happened to you, Charlie? Why aren't you coming? And some clubs do it much better than others. We don't do it very well at Rotary Club of Honolulu.
You know, there's an exit interview that nobody uses, but for our club, I have to really like drill it into our secretary and our treasurer that you are not to delete anyone until the president and the membership chair give their okay, because she was constantly trying to delete people because, you know, they're more paper, you know, black and white kind of people. They cannot stand something that's on the books that shouldn't be there. So she wants to take it off. But a lot of times when someone, either the president or their sponsor or someone that has a relationship with them talks to them, then you find out that there is a reason other than what most of the people don't give the true reason why they're quitting. Maybe it's embarrassment because they can't afford it or, you know, whatever. But once you talk to them, you find the real reason. And with that, I think you can either fix it or sometimes they can move to another club that is a better fit. And so why lose a member when they could be so much happier and so much more productive in another club? So that's what I think the clubs need to learn or understand. It's not a competition. It is kind of, but it isn't.
No, that happened in our club where we had some members dissatisfied. They seem to end up in Waikiki and they're very happy there.
So it's working not only with the secretaries to make sure that they don't just drop people because they didn't pay, but also the membership. But it's a team effort, and finding out why people are not getting what they want out of Rotary is kind of important. So that's that club culture and touching each member, each one touch one. So let me go to the next slide. So this is from the zone, and this is information as of March 3rd, 2025. And at the top, it's the clubs who have the biggest gains. So it's ranked by the gains. So you can see that in our district, about a third of the clubs are positive in membership numbers, a third are neutral, and a third are losing members. So at the bottom, where you see, it's Honolulu Club lost 7, but Kaka'ako Eco Club lost 9. So as leaders, we need to find out, okay, what's happening at the club? Is there something that we can do? And sometimes it's just that they finally are cleaning out their roster, but sometimes there is a problem at that club. Yeah, sorry, you kind of see, yeah. I'll, I'll send you the PowerPoint so you can see what the numbers are.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. But
We want to see what the trends are also.
yeah.
And the clubs know what their problems are. It's just whether or not they're equipped to deal with them, frankly.
Some clubs don't know what the problem is, and because maybe they are the problem. But everyone needs help, so we got to find ways out how we can help, especially the ones that are TLC clubs, right, Connie? TLC. So we don't want to call them struggling clubs. We're calling them TLC clubs. So anyway, this is from the zone, and it kind of shows you where we are with the clubs. Okay, so if you look at the ranking for the districts in our zone, so we're kind of at the top because we still have a positive number. A lot of the districts are having a hard time with numbers, but when you see District 5020 and they got 119 new members, you kind of want to know, okay, what did they do? And probably what they did was they created a couple of new clubs to bring in big numbers. Okay, so we're still at the good side of this chart. Okay, new clubs in zone 26, 27. I wanted to show you this to see the names of the clubs. These are new clubs. And look at the names. Look at this Northeast, South, West, South. That's the name of the club. It's called, like Connie,
Northeast, west, south.
yeah, Mauka to Makai. Or community action. It's cause-based. They have something that they have and it's easier if they're all rallying around a cause, than to be random. But
Right. Yeah, I like that East Side Action idea. We're here, or you could say, this is Kalihi focused, or Kakako focused, whatever.
Mhm. Yep. Okay, so I just wanted to show you some of the names that are coming about. So the district membership committee responsibility, because somebody asked me, what kind of training does the district chair get? And so I found this, that the district membership committee has 4 primary responsibilities. And so well, of course, it's helping the membership chairs in the clubs, but also membership leads through the leads program is a priority too. And supporting new clubs, discussing the challenges of our clubs is another thing to talk regularly with the district governor and other district chairs to see how we can work together to fix the problem or to help clubs that need help. So these are slides from the institute, and so some of they're Mario slides, and I think we need to revisit because some of the things that he said are so. I mean, we already know it, but it kind of brings it to the front where he's saying we need to really help dying clubs. Some people say don't water the weeds. Don't, if they're not doing it, just move on. It's easier to help a new club than try and revive a dying club. But here's Mario saying, let's help them. And most of the clubs that need help are under 20 members, and that's like most of our district clubs, right? Under 20. So let's find out what we need to do to help those clubs. And it cannot be, I mean, with the membership committee, it cannot be just one person. It's a team effort. So we need more hands in the committee or, in the district, the top level to help with some of these initiatives. And so it's resurrecting dying clubs, is engaging former members. The Eco Club of Kakako, when Win was so focused on starting a new club, what he did was he went through the list of all former members because he doesn't want to be accused of starting a new club and taking members from other clubs, and it doesn't help us because it doesn't give us any gain. So what he did was he looked at former members of the district and invited them to come to the Kakako club. And so actually that's how he started. But how about if every club did that? Because maybe at that time that they left, they weren't ready, but now they're ready to come back. Or maybe we've got something else for them to be interested in. So former members is one place that we can look for new members. Youth, do we do a really strong effort to have the interactors and rotaractors continue on in Rotary? Do we want to start other Rotaract clubs so that we can have young professionals that can come into Rotary, exchange students, all of the alum people, are we really reaching out? All of the people that went to RILA, do we really plant the seed that we want them to continue with Rotary and invite them to stay with us? Then fellowships, we've talked about this fellowships and action groups before. If we can offer this on the district level, that people have something that they are interested in, and we really make a strong push to keep these groups together, then maybe we're giving them something else where they are getting something that they are interested in. And so maybe they don't get it at their club, but they can get it in the fellowship or the action group. So that's another place that we need to work on. Okay, so when you look at the surveys on why or what kind of fellowships people are involved in, this is international. This is a survey that was put out for everybody, and the people who responded, on the top line, Those are the ones that were most popular on fellowships. Okay, who's coming in? Oh, another Nancy.
Yeah, I come to my office thinking perfect, but it keeps telling me my internet connection is unstable. So it takes forever. So couldn't hardly hear you. You'd go in and out sound wise. So I put you back on my phone because I hear you perfect on my phone. So
Okay, good.
maybe I'll watch you on the phone too, but it was easier on my full screen to look at those charts, right? You know,
Yep,
so
yep. Okay,
yeah.
ability to adapt.
Recording in progress.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's me again. Yeah, that's me.
oh, we're getting double Nancy. Okay.
Yeah.
This is international, but if you look at the one for US, you can see that golf was really important and wine. And of course, in District 5000, our wine appreciation is very important. But here, there are other fellowships that maybe we need to look into. Maybe we've got to start our own fellowship. But these are ways that we can get people to be involved with something that they are interested in. So that's another place that we need to work on because we haven't really done a really good job in getting more fellowships and action groups together and keeping them going. Okay, leveraging professional.
Naomi, I have a question? You know, we were kind of looking at starting fellowships within our club just to get more, you know, relationships built. Is there any specific way we're supposed to do that, or is it just whatever, however we want? Does Rotary have a set steps that we take, or we don't have to fill out paperwork or anything like that?
Yeah, these fellowships are they're official fellowships for Rotary. You have to join it. Okay, so the wine fellowship, wine appreciation fellowship, for instance, is $100 to join for a lifetime membership. Okay, and then you're on the roster. Now, if you're talking about an informal fellowship, so it's a group of people who want to play mahjong every week, you can just do that, and there's no paperwork, there's no commitment, but it's another way for people to get involved and stay involved.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
and I
We
just showed
kind of just gotta find somebody to be in charge of rounding people up. Okay, thanks.
right. Yeah, so that's why you need committee because if one person can't do it, at least it can still continue with other people keeping it going.
Bye, Merle.
What?
No, sorry. Okay.
Okay. So other professional institutions, yeah, that's good. And maybe it's got to be where we have a group of people who are ambassadors who can make a offer to do presentations at these other places, just like how marketing people will call us up and say, hey, my client, they're doing this, would you like them as a speaker? And so maybe we can go and we can say, hey, we've got a speaker and to talk about the projects and about Rotary and kind of be their agent to get them out to do these presentations. Huh, Rich? Can we do that? You can do peace.
Yeah, we could work on that. Sure.
Okay, but it takes a lot of effort. It takes people to think about how to do this and then do a plan and actually do it. So another thing to do, okay, is uncharted territories. And so this is really looking at places that we're not at and what kind of opportunities are there. And so it really takes another group of people who can just focus on this and do that. So Rich, when we had that
Recording in
collaborative
progress.
when we had the collaborative assignment in DLA,
Yeah, right. And we came up with a Eva Beach scenario,
yeah,
which I thought was pretty concrete. The thing that comes up for me often is, okay, so this is a good idea. Who's going to champion it? Champion it? How is it going to be organized? It sounds like and feels like a lot of work for somebody within the club to say, yeah, I'm going to take the banner and run out there and plant a new flag someplace. And how do we get around that? And maybe the answer is the district can help put the pieces together so you don't have to do all the work. So that requires a district person who has the wherewithal or the time and the energy and all of that to help coordinate the effort so somebody can do it, right?
Right.
And it's going to have to take somebody from, let's say, Kapolei, who lives not that far from Eva Beach, to say, yeah, it makes sense for me to do the Eva Beach thing, but I can't do it by myself.
Yep.
And that's where that disconnect seems to come in. Great idea. Who has the time or the energy to do it?
Yeah, and maybe you need somebody dedicated to do that, and that's all they do is start new clubs. And actually, there is a position called a new club advisor that we're supposed to have in our district. That's from Rotary International's policy manual, and the new club advisor is the one who can look for opportunity and see how they can help. But it's a mentor. Getting one person to carry the banner is good because then you got somebody on the ground, but they need a mentor. And so, Connie, when you had you have a subcommittee for new clubs, right? So how did they do it?
Well, it's pretty much Nalani and Alan, and Wendy, and they kind of just, I guess they must email between each other and make plans on, trying to get people together. They haven't been too successful, but it's kind of also trying to spread the word because our district is not real familiar with satellite clubs. It was trying to get buy-in from a lot of the clubs. They just don't want to do it. They're just not interested in satellite clubs. They don't know what satellite clubs are. So it's been like a process of trying to get them to understand that this is a good thing. And so, yeah, so but they have a committee of 3, and then they kind of just, I don't think they meet on their own though. I think they just meet via on text and on email though.
Mhm.
And
So
so I know Alan and Nalani have gotten together and spoke in front of, like different groups of people, like some veterans. And then Nalani and I went to Kona, and we met with the Kona Club and tried to talk to some veterans there because they were interested in a military satellite club. So, yeah, but again, it's the buy-in that's hard, is getting them to, like, we can be super excited about it, but if they're not, it's like, you cannot do the work for them, like go recruit for them and, day in and day out. So that's been a struggle.
Mhm.
And actually, once we get the clubs in place, the struggle is a lot of times they're brand new Rotarians. So you really have to, and they want to do things their way. Like I have some strong people with strong minds that want to do things this way, and I say, I have to keep telling them, no, you have to stick to Rotary's guidelines and but it's hard to, just dealing with different personalities and people, and that's always a challenge. So, yeah, sorry, I went around and around your question, didn't I?
no, you answered it.
Well, it's good to know that I know that Nalani is one of the folks that will be promoting the satellite club idea, and I didn't know there was a team around her to do that, Connie. I didn't know that that was in place.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, and it would be good for her to, or them to come to a board meeting for any club that's, I don't, give a 10-minute presentation or what have you,
Mhm.
that kind of thing.
And I don't know if, I think in Oahu, it would be Nalani, not Alan, I think, because Alan is not going to be able to answer questions.
Alan's on Maui, right?
No, Alan is Kamemoto. He's Hickam Pearl Harbor.
Hey, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
so he
different
does
Alan.
our membership leads. Yeah, and then yeah, Wendy or either Jay or Al could do a presentation on Maui because Jay and Al are both helping her with the satellite club. And then on this island, it would probably end up being me.
Yeah, the biggest question is, what's in it for the club?
Yeah.
That's the big question. And that's what's been hindering our involvement because you have to readjust the dues situation, and what we're looking for is more dues for the club directly, but we cannot ask it of satellite club members. It's got to be a
Well,
lower cost.
you could. I mean, if they're willing to pay, you can ask them. But if they're not getting,
Right,
Or-
but
but the
yeah.
thing though is Rich, you might have lost them, so you wouldn't get any income from them. So It's a,
Correct. Yeah. Or yeah, you want to bring them back in, and I have an idea around that, but I can't get much traction with management as it is right now.
Hmm.
So I need a different approach.
mhm, okay.
Well,
So,
oh, sorry, can I?
go ahead.
One more thing. I just actually spoke to Chris today from your club.
Chris?
Yeah.
Oh, Chris Puttock. Yeah, he wants to go out on his own.
Yeah, yeah. So he told me that he's not trying to recruit any of the current members. He's going after alumni. So I said that's good, because I
Oh
mean
yeah. If he could
maybe
get them, that's great.
yeah, and maybe your current members that want to switch over afterwards, at least they have a choice. So, I told him you're doing a good thing. Um, yeah, it is. Yeah, satellite clubs, it's more work than I thought it would be. And even Wendy has called me and said, I'm having a hard time with our satellite club. And so it's not as easy as, we first thought it would be. It's actually quite a challenge to like herding cats, cats that don't want to be herded. So anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Naomi, can you guys hear me? I'm jumping around. Can you hear me, Naomi? Okay. Anyway, also there's that long list that we have that comes in that of people who have made inquiries about Rotary that it looks like nobody ever gets back to them. So we've got to get somebody on that list on an ongoing daily basis to check that list and
What list is that?
It's the leads.
leads.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
no, we follow up on all of them. It's
Okay,
it's up to the clubs to, you know, I don't know but Alan, I know, follows up on every single one. I follow up on the ones from the Big Island. And what I found, and I'm assuming this is probably similar to all the other, in Maui, Al does Maui, and Scott does Kona. But I think that, what's happening is we send it out, and short of that person, us calling them directly and saying, you call this person, or they don't do it. I mean, our club, Nancy, we have so far this year, just this year, have brought in, I think, 4 membership leads. And
oh, good.
when I send it out, we're inducting one this week. When I send it out to all the East Hawaii presidents and membership chairs.
Yeah.
And I don't call right away. I wait at least 24 hours or 48 hours to call them, because I want to give the other clubs a chance to call.
Yeah.
And then I call, invite them, and they're all excited. And then and then they come, and then I ask them, did anybody else contact you? And I think only one person in the whole time has ever said, yeah, I got an email from somebody else. And then when and this is not just from Hilo, this is from Oahu too. They CC me sometimes in their correspondence with the potential member, and all they say is, oh, thank you for your inquiry. We meet on this day. Hope you can make it. And that's it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, who's going to go, right?
Yeah.
Right. And so we got to rethink on how we do that, because it is
Yeah.
that experience, and that's the first experience. So if they don't get a good experience at the beginning, they're not gonna continue. But anyway,
I
when
have 2
we
others.
look,
Sorry, let me tell you one real quick. I have 2 others just this past month. And I invited them to a meeting. They came to our meeting. They said, they were excited about it. And then they told me they were interested in Hawaiian culture. So I said, you should check out South Hilo, because that is, that's what they're good at. And then another one, same thing, back and forth. And he was going to come to our meeting. And then I asked him, so what, I kind of was talking to him a little bit more, and I found out that he had a relationship with South Hilo. So I forwarded their and CC'd them on the email reply back. And I said, please invite him to your meeting, or please. And then next thing I knew, they were at the foundation function. And I was like, okay, because I had invited, and I looked at them and I said, I thought you might be members already. So, I mean, but it takes somebody to actually hand it to them. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating.
Okay, so let's rethink that on how we can make it a better experience. Maybe it's got to be where you take them to the meeting so that they don't have to go and be with strangers. They already met you, right? So let's rethink that. But going back to looking for future locations for clubs. And so what rich folks did, they did a research on where the population was, where we didn't have a club. And so it was more being proactive. Whereas I think what we're doing is we're being reactive on somebody's interested or we'll go to somebody's asking about it and it's two sides. Yeah, we need to be reactive but also proactive to see where is it that we got pukas, that we've got population that might support a Rotary Club and nobody's living there, nobody's working there. And we find organizations or somebody we know that might be interested in starting that. So for instance, if we could find people in Pahoa, Pahoa really needs a group to work with the schools because the students need help, right? So maybe it is finding those kinds of people that want to help with the education piece. So it's a lot of work, but maybe it's a different mindset on trying to find opportunities. Okay, so for instance, one time we convened real estate agents, and so they know what's coming up, what kind of people are there, and what that community is like. And so doing a brainstorming with real estate agents, where can you see us having a Rotary Club? And then maybe they know people, maybe they know business people that have workers that might be interested in a Rotary Club. Okay, so anyway, I just throwing it out that that was one of the things that Mario mentioned is uncharted territory. So his call to action was for going through the assistant governors because assistant governors theoretically know that area and maybe they can see where we're not at and they can help to charter a new club. But it's kind of morphed now where we would like to use the assistant governors to identify places where we're not at, but they don't need to be necessarily the ones to start that club. They can shepherd it along, they can find people who can do it, but using the AGs to help with guiding the process, finding locations is something that we could do because we need a lot of feelers out there, right? So, starting a new club is hard. We all know it's hard because it takes a lot of time. You need somebody to be dedicated, but it's we need people to be on top of it. It's not only finding somebody to be in that club or to start that club, it's also mentoring the chair or the leaders of that club so that for 3 years we can help them along, that they don't flounder, that we give them the same kind of attention that we would give a regular club. So, passport clubs, and now they have this companion club that they're talking about. And companion clubs are like 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 people who just want to do the projects. Yeah. And they're happy being with this club. So it's a companion club and a satellite club is the same thing, but companion club is more, they don't really want to take the leadership on their own. They just want to be a part of the club, but help. Okay,
And
passport
like
club.
Friends of Rotary.
Yeah, so Friends of Rotary though are not, they're like community core. They're not members. So they don't pay dues. Yeah. But a companion club, they're members, just like Satellite Club members are members. They're considered active.
So
Okay.
companion club would pay some sort of dues. They would pay RI dues and district dues, is what you're saying.
Yes, correct.
So, Nomi, what makes them, so their projects are considered their twice a month meetings?
It could be, yeah.
Okay, and they need, they're like a regular standalone club, so they need 20 minimum?
No,
start-
that one is a companion, like a satellite 8.
Oh, okay, so it's, okay, sorry. Okay,
I
so
see them
companion
being
club
this, I see them
is
being
like
the
a
same
satellite
thing.
club.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
see any difference there between a companion, because the satellite club is pretty much organized around something that everybody wants to do. That's what the impetus is.
Yeah, yeah. And I agree. It's the same thing, only they put it gave it another name, and it's because a companion club doesn't really want to go out on their own. They're just ready to, like how when you have the sharks and you got those fishes that hang on to the shark.
The lampreys.
So they're hanging on to the mother club because they want to be part of the mother club, but they want to just swim on their own.
Do they have the option to charter at
Yeah.
okay. So it is pretty much a satellite club called something else. Oh, okay. Okay, thanks.
The satellite club a lot of times is because they want to do something different. They want to meet someplace different. They want a different format, the different stuff. But a companion club, they want to do things different, but they're hanging on to the mother club, Okay, so Passport Club, we have one club in our district that's a Passport Club. Okay, does anybody know who that is?
Is it one of the week clubs? Is it a
No.
week club? No,
Do you know what a Passport Club is?
not exactly. It's related to another international club, I would imagine.
No, not necessarily.
They don't have meetings, they just go to other clubs, correct?
Well, their meeting is at somebody else's meeting. So Passport is they go visit other clubs and that's their meeting. They're constantly on the road and they don't need to go together. They can go separately, but it's Rotary Club of Maui that is a Passport Club.
Mm,
Okay. So
wow.
anyway, okay, moving on. Okay, so we really need to think about how we can create these different pockets and give people the reason to stay with Rotary, because the way that the reasons why they leave Rotary is because they didn't get it. Their expectations aren't met, or and maybe it's the time and financial obligations, and maybe another kind of club structure would work better for them. So for instance, if you've got Honolulu Club members, they're older people, they don't really have resources, and they just want to once a week play bridge or something, you can have a reduced dues structure for them, less obligations for time and money. Okay, so Rotaract, it's kind of interesting that Rotary tried to push Rotaract as another way we can get members to pay to the district, and they pushed it, and they said it's a type of membership, and they're saying it's almost equal to a Rotary Club, but it's not really equal to Rotary Club. But if you look at the reasons why it's not sustainable, like for instance, our district, we had 7 a couple years ago, and now we only have 2, and one is floundering. So actually, we only have one that's kind of active. There, it's not fly by night, but it's not a stable um, group, because they're looking for other things. If they're at the university, they're going to move on. So a community-based Rotaract might be a better one, like the RICO Club. It's more stable, but still they're having situations where their members, well, first of all, their members are not in Hawaii. They were Nicole's friends on the mainland. So, so sometimes that's, they're not going to be sustainable. But here's some reasons why they would leave. And so they asked the Rotaractors. The small one on the side is in the previous month, have you considered leaving? Okay, so you can see the pink one was yes, they're considering leaving. So the majority of the people in the last Rotaractors in the last 12 months, they're considering leaving Rotaract. Okay, so and then this bigger picture is the reason why they left. So conflicts with other members, difficulty finding friends, finding professional contacts. Cost was a problem, even though they were free before. So, they are having their own issues. So if we're going to use Rotaract as a way to increase our membership in the district, we need to help the Rotaractors as well. We need to help them be sustainable, give meaning to staying, and also try to get them into a Rotary Club when they are graduating their situation. Okay. So that club experience is really important. And so when you think about the club experience, every club needs to have that bond with their members. And if not, that's where the district has to step in and give members that reason for being a Rotary member, that reason to stay, that value proposition. So how do we do that? We've talked about that a lot of times about how we can fix that culture, but it's the meetings. So that's why Benson is going to be working with the club service chairs every month to talk about, okay, what kind of meeting format do you have that was interesting? What kind of speakers did you get? You know, what were some things that that made it more fun or to help the club gel? So that Rotary got rid of club service as one of the avenues. I mean, it's still there, but it's not important. But for us, when we're talking about club culture, that club service chair is really important to helping the club have a good culture, have a good experience in their meetings. And then you've got the service project, the community service chair. They too, you know, bring meaning to what people want in Rotary, because a lot of people join for the projects, right? So really prioritizing on how we can help our members connect and have that friendship. We've really got to pay attention to that. We've really got to make that one of our priorities for the district on how we can help the members. And so one of the things that Benson thought about was having this thing called a lifer. He wants to identify lifers and give them a new pin and help them stay lifers. So Rotary does these surveys all the time. And so this is the one they just released in 2024. And they asked the question, what programs are important to you, to your membership? And then it was, what's your satisfaction with that program? So you can see the ranking, what programs are important. And I think that's kind of same with us, except we don't have community core that are active. We don't do friendship exchanges. We don't do a lot of youth exchange, but we do RILA, which is very successful, but limiting, because like for Oahu, we only had 50 people that went to RILA when we could have maybe had 100. Our friendship exchanges are kind of sporadic. Our youth exchange, we have about maybe 7 every year, but that's another place that people say when they come out of that program that it really changed their lives. Okay, so looking at these lists, this is where our district chairs, our committees can help with making sure that they're giving that experience that people need, that people who are interested in global grants or interact, they're getting that same kind of experience and satisfaction from being a Rotary member. Okay, so here's a breakdown of the kind of projects that people are interested in or the topics that they're interested in. And so it breaks it down by age and by location. So people want to build their skills. So how are we helping people build their skills? How are we giving them leadership opportunities? Yeah. So anyway, busy.
Yeah, yeah, that's a lot of information.
Yep.
Yeah, you're going to send us this PowerPoint. I'd like to take a deeper dive into this thing.
Yep. And I can send you the survey. It's 100 and some odd pages, but but Mario, that was Mario talking next to his slide, and he's saying we got 3 types of leaders, and this is us. This is this leadership group. We've got ones who make it happen, and so let's be the people who make things happen, because it's going to be very rewarding to spread that out throughout the district when we have people who are satisfied, who are doing things, and we'll bring in more hands. Without the convention, you know, we thought that with the convention we're going to get a lot of new members, but you know, no convention maybe. So how do we make things happen? And it's planning, it's brainstorming, it's getting more people involved to make things happen. So leadership in our district, you know, we've got the Kupu Mau, which was not that successful. We only had just a small handful of people who went through that Leadership 101 program. So we need to revamp that 101 program. The Leadership Academy, we're on our 5th cohort. So that means 50 people or what, 50 5 times 12, 60 people have gone through that. But we're not using our graduates to help with the district level. So let's use more of the graduates. And then this is the 301 where you're getting a deeper dive into district things. And then the Club Alakai, we want to use more to help with helping the training and the leadership development within the club. Okay, so any slide you want me to go back to?
No, but this is great because I have to go to dinner now.
Oh, you don't have to go take a nap now after all
No, 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 no. It's no, I'm not going to take a nap after that. It's the biggest challenge that we all face in Rotary right now, without a doubt. And it's just this real, and it's not just our district, it's all over North America, and everybody's struggling with this concept, and that's why we come together at Zone, and that's why we come together at Pets, and we try to get new ideas on how to turn this around. But nobody really has that one answer. And all I know from what I've just been hearing from you, Naomi, is it takes a gargantuan effort to make this happen. It's not easy. And as Mara says, you know, you don't want to sit back and say, well, it'll happen. No, it's not. And we found it true in our club. I think, Connie, you probably have the best success of anybody on this screen and probably anybody in Rotary over the last 10 years of bringing people in, and how you did it was very creative and is inspirational to, I think, all of us, and how you did it. But trying to duplicate that in each individual club is a tough one too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I've thought about, because it Connie's year as our president, myself and another lady were co-chair, and we kind of got a lot of people in. I've been criticized because some of them left, but I don't think proportionally more of them left than left in general, you know. But it's I would like to kind of work up something, and you know me, I write things that could be in the presentation, but try and have some kind of a Zoom meeting in a month or month and a half or something when we get a little closer, with the presidents of all the clubs and their membership chairs, their upcoming membership chairs for our year, because that's who we don't have power to call Ted's people in, right? So anyway, and kind of go over from the very beginning. A lot of clubs have got to change their idea on who could be a member. I think a lot of clubs are still, you know, for a while, we know our Hilo club had it. Only the top executives in Hilo are going to come to our club. Well, we've passed that pretty much, but that took a couple of years of struggle. So who could be a member, and really look at that. And then also maybe reference some safeguards, because we've gotten a couple of people who we think then came in and really just used the membership to borrow money from and do different things and cause problems, or to promote themselves and their business or their nonprofit or something. So, you know, things to look for too. But how to think about looking for new members. And then once you bring them in, and then the orientation, and once you bring them in, what do you do with them then? Put them on that committee, period. You know, not a good idea. I mean, it's definitely a good idea, even if you put them on the membership committee, because there's, in our club, that's the most active committee out there, I think. Isn't it, Connie? Is it still? Yeah, I know you guys just had a meeting. So, and we had about 12 people on it, and a good 10 of them would show up at every monthly meeting. I mean, it was a really hot group. And we brought in those folks and stuff. So we brought in about almost 50 members that year in those 12 months. But where we realized we failed was not really holding on to them and getting them into a committee and making sure they got involved, and not following up on that for 3 months or whatever it takes to call them and to make sure, hey, you coming, whatever. And I think that's added to because we don't meet every week. When we met every week, it was easier to know what's what. You know, it's more disjointed now, but we know it's every other week or twice a month. So somebody got to stay in touch with, are they showing up? They're not showing up, and who's doing what? That care committee idea, you know, and then sign to something and find out what they want to work on. I mean, years or whatever until they really take hold. Can you not hear me?
You're going.
You guys hear me or not? Oh man, maybe it is. Yeah, that's weird because my computer was unstable, so I guess I am, my phone is too. Okay,
No,
well, I'll go-
well, I heard you, but you were sort of clicking in and out, but
oh,
I have to run because we are meeting somebody now, and
okay,
and Naomi, please send me that that slide deck because I do want to look at some of those numbers. It's really interesting to me and actually we should have a regular meeting on membership, and the
yeah,
district should anyway,
yeah,
just to get
great.
people, focused on it entirely because it really is the big elephant in
Okay,
all
so
of our rooms.
Okay,
So Connie does have monthly meetings, so maybe you should go to the meetings too. But Randy has a session this Saturday for people to work on the action plan and come up with brainstorming ideas, sharing best practices. But Randy's going to have this think tank in June 28th, I think it was, and that's for the membership chairs, current and
So he's sending it out to all the clubs.
yeah.
All right. Well,
okay,
we've got a couple of people that been focusing on other things that have not been focusing on membership, and we just need to turn them around. So I'll talk to Brian about that too.
okay, okay, yeah, no,
Okay.
thank you all for coming together. Is Doug and Deb still there? Such a cute couple. Okay,
Yep, I've been on for
Oh,
the last
God.
half an hour. Yep.
all right, I'm impressed. Thank you, thank you. Okay, well, I've been in and out on 2 different devices, so. Okay,
So Rich is in Oregon. Benson is on his way to California.
oh, wow. Okay, tough group. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of ideas that we can share, and I think it could help that overall, and because you never know which club, which membership chair, which president's gonna pick up on what that's gonna help. Now, we gave everybody one of those cute little doggies. We'd have them all, huh, Connie?
Oh, look at that. So cute.
Yeah, so cute. Yeah. Almost as cute as you, Connie. So, okay, Naomi, do we have more we need to cover?
No, I was gonna go through the leads, but that's enough, I think. So let me stop the recording.
Yeah, well, maybe an idea.